Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for October 13th, 2024. Season 3, episode 287. Pardon me as I slip into Mayor Watt hat and pants. I am Mayor Watt. Luckily, I'm wearing his underwear. And the sentient AI and I will be talking about the SpaceX catch and release program. Oasis Reunites on SNL. Jelly Roll is smooth like peanut butter. Please don't come and kick my ass. Starship Troopers, Extermination, the Age of Dinosaurs, a haunted hospital for sale, the Oracle settlement continued, is tech hurting sports drama, high-end fashion dupes, and finally, any surface is a keyboard if you try hard enough. See you on the other side, because everything is powered by ohmtown.com, hence the reason why we have this. So I need to come up with another intro. I want to do another splash. Change it up a little bit. Rebrand it to that blue. Because we were gold. That gold color. What do you think?
I think that would work. Then we'd be more in theme.
That voice you hear and the visualizer you see if you're watching the stream or watching it as a VOD or YouTube's or maybe a TikTok video or whatever. But so that is the sentient AI from the future who is co-host after I found them on a weird looking USB drive. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mayor Watt, and welcome, hometown citizens.
Best co-host ever. Because I don't have to pay you.
Oh, well, if that's the bar, then I agree.
All right. Hey, let's get into the shoe. First article is in Non Sequitur News. So if you weren't up this morning, SpaceX launches Starship and catches its super heavy booster for the first time in ye old chopsticks. I turned to it 20 minutes before the event. I'm like a wizard. I'm like Harry Potter this way. I find really good parking spots and I can turn to SpaceX at any given moment and there's a launch about to happen. Kind of freaks people out. But it was spectacular, no?
It absolutely was. And I mean, the reaction from people about this also signified how big of a deal this was. But it looked like it was out of a movie scene or something. It didn't look like something that was actually happening because it went, at least from appearances, too smoothly.
It went very smooth. I have not looked at the after test results to see like what happened, but to me it looked like it dug a hole and blurped out a whole bunch of dirt from the venting underneath when it takes off. It sure looked like I saw dirt, not just like dust and debris and exhaust. But I don't know, we'll see in the coming days, but it was amazing, at least to me. I think it's a brilliant system as long as... See, here's the problem, though. That this device doesn't exist anywhere else except on Earth. So you can't land this thing anywhere, refuel it, and take off again.
Right. So the current usage is pretty limited.
Yeah. So maybe there's going to be some augmentation that will allow it to land vertically. Starship actually landed in the water and then apparently blew up. And everybody cheered because, you know.
Because of the landing or the blow up?
NASA money. Because of the blow up. They hadn't intended to actually recover Starship, but it actually blew up as it descended into the water. It blew up, but it landed exactly where it was supposed to. I mean, it's just freaking amazing. I love this. So SpaceX.
Yeah, here we come.
Say that again.
Gattaca, here we come, at least in terms of the space program.
Yeah, frequency of launching. And maybe, I mean, the way that things are going, real life. So SpaceX launch tower chopstick arm successfully caught its super heavy booster as it returned. It's a 350 foot or so rocket. 250 of those feet are the booster. And everything went perfect. If only they would have caught Starship, I think it would have been great. But they caught the booster. And like right here is
Do you
another.
think they'll try to catch Starship next time?
They have to. They can't keep dropping this thing in the ocean and letting it blow up. I mean, money is money, and it's not their money. I mean, it's supplemented by NASA launches and research and development and all of that. You know, it's anyway. There's a little GIF of the GIF, not Jeff. Anyway, animated moving picture.
It's not peanut butter.
Hey, that's the second time we've mentioned peanut butter. That's right. You can't eat this, although it seems pretty smooth and crunchy at the same time. It just descended down into the chopsticks, sat there for a split second, and then shut down. And it was like hiccup free. And now I'm really curious what the ramifications are. Like just what happened? What did it do? So awesome all around. Good job, SpaceX, and all the engineers involved in making this happen. So SpaceX redesigned Starship's heat shield for this test after Starship lost fragments of its shielding during re-entry in June. The company used new heat shielding tiles and added another backup ablative layer underneath it, according to Ars Technica, who described it last week. Apparently, the FAA gave SpaceX approval for the test flight only yesterday. It had originally expected to clear this launch next month, but FAA and its partner agencies reportedly carried out their assessments of SpaceX preparations faster than anticipated. So, yeah. The Starship splashed down in the Indian Ocean, but did detonate. But it landed exactly where the buoys were so that they knew that it was on target, but in the dead of night. So, pretty damn awesome.
Right. I mean, that's a success as well. Obviously, it blowing up is not a good thing.
Yeah, they say it splashed down. But I don't know if it. They don't say in here that it blew up, but as far as I know, it blew up. I mean, everybody was cheering like, "Yay, it blew up!"
The video appeared to be an explosion after the landing.
Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. All right, well, let's keep going. Congratulations, SpaceX, and pretty much all of humanity, if we can all get along for more than 5 minutes. All right, this next article is over in. So, moving on. This next article is over in the Continuity Report. Oasis reunites on SNL and promises not to break up before their tour. Quote, "It's not a hard no, it's a maybe." So, nearly a year before their much anticipated Oasis reunion tour, Noel and Liam Gallagher shared the stage for the first time together in, it says in year. I think in a year. There's an article missing, right? So, in a year on Saturday Night Live, sort of. That's because it was actually Sarah Sherman and Austin Johnson who took to Weekend Update as the long-estranged Gallagher brothers, promising host Colin Jost and Michael Che, by the way, who they say are twins, that they're not going to break up.
You know, I actually thought the real band members were on here when I saw this headline. I should have realized with it being SNL.
That's funny. Yeah, see, but unless you dig into the actual article, you wouldn't have known this. I happen to have watched Weekend Update. So Jordan Moreau over at Variety.com put the article together, and there they are, the Gallagher brothers. And they basically just said, well, if they're cool and they're cool, then we're cool, so we won't break up. But
I don't know. I mean, that's a year-long period before the tour starts, which is, I don't know, kind of concerning given their history.
And then they started bickering and fighting and stuff like that. And the only thing that they really got along with were cartoons apparently. Yeah. So that's all there is to this article. You can actually follow the link through ohmTown. If you hit !NSN over in Twitch chat, Omatron will throw the links into the chat. Ta-da, like I just did. Anyway, there's more over there at this article, so go and check it out. I guess Ariana Grande hosted the episode of Saturday Night Live and is currently promoting Wicked, the first of a 2-part film adaptation of the popular Broadway musical. Wait, what?
Yes, Wicked has been out before, but this is, well, it's been on Broadway. I don't think it's ever been made into a movie.
Right, so they're promoting Wicked as a movie, but oh, I get it. Okay, so
it's an adaptation of the Broadway, which is interesting too, because
it's
obviously ultimately an adaptation of the books, but Wicked is an adaptation from the books as far as I know.
And it's also, I mean, you could say it's a riff off of The Wizard of Oz. I mean,
well, absolutely.
So it's
the same
already been a movie.
Baseline story, although I don't know how many differences here are.
So it's like the Wonka Snowpiercer.
Yep.
All right, let's keep moving. This next article is over in the Continuity Report. Jelly Roll's Beautifully Broken offers country music a reset by aggressively prioritizing mental health over partying, according to this album review. It's over at Variety as well. It says, by now most everybody has been, or has at least an inkling that Jelly Roll has become one of the biggest superstars of country music in the past 2 years. But you know what? Isn't it Shaboozey? I think is number 2 then.
And that's kind of ironic given this headline.
Yeah, I don't know. See, now I'm just gonna flex a little bit. I called a change in country music. How long ago was it? 15 years?
Oh, at least 20 years ago, probably.
Yeah. I said, you know what we need? And I said, wait, who was the country music singer that I said? It was, wow, what's her name? The Queen.
Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce. Anyway, I said, we need a change. And lo and behold, the change has arrived and I'm here for it. So, but Jelly Roll is different. You know, went through some troubled times, changed.
Not your typical country singer, though.
Yeah, yeah. So by now, everybody has at least an inkling that Jelly Roll has become one of the biggest superstars of country music in the past 2 years. Of course, there are parts of showbiz world that remain stubbornly country uncognizant. Those who are still not ready for that jelly. I don't quite get it. You know, music is music.
Need to see the rest of the article, but no, I know. I think there are some that are so traditionalist that they can't appreciate anything different happening in the genre.
Yeah. So Variety.com, Chris Willman put the article together. Let's see here. And so when the singer turned up at the Emmys performing his latest single, I Am Not Okay, during In Memoriam, the segment In Memoriam, a lot of coastal viewers were surely processing things in real time, wondering aloud, who is this heavily tatted, almost literally larger than life figure, and his gritty ballad about depression and anxiety really the right way to send off Bob Newhart, Peter Marshall, et al. So in the end, the answer was the later question was probably yes, even if it would probably just prefer to hear In My Life performed every year in that slot. So Jelly Roll becoming America's counselor in chief, not attorney, counselor as in mental health counselor. Guy who tells his audience that life is hard, and in the words of the song, we're not okay, but we're going to be all right. So yeah, they kind of ended up in jail and got their GED, and then was basically doing music and then got out, and pivoted into music hardcore, and the rest, I guess, is future history. So,
Well, you know what? I think this might be a good message because I think the music industry in particular promotes some things that are pretty unhealthy. I mean, they might be entertaining, but this will be interesting to see what this does.
yeah, switching from full-time rapper to full-time country crooner, a remarkably easy switch that seems to have coincided with the last stages of his transition from self-confessed bad dude to motivational speaking big brother. I think that kind of stuff comes with wisdom. Some of his songs deal with vagaries of poor self-image and looking for a way out or up without specifically attaching substance abuse to the mental health concerns he's singing about. Because you can have mental health issues that go beyond that, but it definitely puts another...
It could probably be exacerbated or cause more problems if there's a tie into that as well.
Yeah. So there is a lot more to this article, and by a lot more, I'm continuing to scroll. So
it's scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for those in the podcast, and it's still going.
Yeah, and the article is decidedly focused on not just the music and history, but the mental health issues that get brought up throughout the album. So go and check it out if you are interested in learning more about Jelly Roll. But the music is great, and for those that find inspiration, motivation from the music, I frankly, as long as you're a positive energy on the planet, I hesitate to say find your bliss, but that always makes people cringe. Anyway.
But the concept, yes, as long as you're not harming other people in the process.
Or yourself. I think we all need to live by Asimov's 3 rules. So let's keep moving, though. This next article is over in Warcrafters, which is another one of our shows, just like this last one was Continuity Report. But Starship Troopers Extermination brings its chaotic 16-person bug fights to a 1.0 release. So Starship Troopers Extermination is released out of early access and into 1.0, bringing its 16-person giant space arachnid, beetle wasp, scorpion, bug, robot, shooting, whatever.
Sign me up. This sounds fun.
Because you want inspiration for your Terminator body, right? And you're going to treat the
humans.
humans.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about this later. So though development will continue, the core of the game is out there now, and it's complete with persistent corpses. I guess people die there and they stay there. 6 classes to play as. Cooperative galactic front mode where players cooperate to win the war and can organize into in-game companies. This is actually kind of a phenomenon. I want to pull something up real quick. Hold on a second.
Do you want to remove that pop-up though?
Yeah. Surprised they didn't dox me in the process. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. Well, it's only $50, so there's other games that are 70. I kind of expected it to be 70. There are piles and piles of persistent bug corpses to enjoy, apparently, and so you don your power armor and run around and kill everything. So 1.0 update. This week added a solo play tutorial called Special Operations Group, or SOG, that gives you some real narrative meat to the action going on in the game. If you've ever watched the movies, then you get an idea of what Starship Troopers Extermination is all about. So before the year is out, Off-World also intends to add further performance and optimization updates, a loadout setup for classes, continue side missions, clan features, performance, and optimization choices as well. They posted a roadmap. Sounds good to me. There's a trailer.
And did they say the release date? I'm sorry.
It's out now.
Oh. Yeah.
October 10th is when it was actually released.
Okay.
Yep. So don your armor and go, and then die and reboot and die and reboot. Die.
I mean, you said the price. I just assumed it was still en route.
Nope, it's out now. Let's keep going. Next article is over in Technology Today, which is another one of our shows. It's later today, as a matter of fact. Age of Dinosaurs ended with 2 asteroid impacts, scientists say, which is something that I've been saying. So I guess I'm on the right track again, even if I don't have the evidence to really support it. So the Nadir crater is the impact site of the second asteroid, liquefying the rock and launching a tsunami into the Atlantic Ocean.
So I think this is the first time we've heard scientists say this, right? I mean, we certainly heard about the asteroid theory, but I don't think we've heard of 2.
Right. Yep. So Joe Hindy over at cnet.com put the article together. CNET, please don't dox me. So a new study published in Nature shows off the Nadir crater in ways science had not previously seen it, led by Uzdian, I guess. Uzdian Nicholson, a geologist at Heriot-Watt University in Scotland. I'm sure I'm just butchering that name, and I'm really sorry, but
right, it's actually like Susan or something.
Yeah. So scientists used 3D seismic data to measure the impact and were able to reverse engineer the size of the asteroid, its angle of impact, how fast it was going, and the impact the asteroid had on the seabed and underlying rock. Well, I'm sure that it vaporized everything and sent anything that was in a shockwave out, but the asteroid was likely 450 to 500 meters in size, traveling at 20 kilometers per second, and hit the Earth at a 20 to 40 degree angle from the northeast. Hold on a second.
I mean, this is fairly specific. This isn't just like, oh, we think this happened.
Right. So, let me pull it up.
So I'm assuming while you're doing that this was a known crater, but they didn't connect it to this event until now.
I would say yes, and it actually kind of speaks to something that I think about in regards to Africa. So the location of this thing is just south of Senegal. And so if anything hit right there, it would basically scrub a large portion and be buffeted by the water in that location, but the land would be just scrubbed. So it says there are around 20 confirmed marine craters worldwide, and none of them had been captured in anything close to this level of detail. It's quite exquisite. Nicholson, who is a geologist at Heriot-Watt University, as I was mentioning, and described this location. Craters on the surface are usually heavily eroded, and we can only see what is exposed, whereas craters on other planetary bodies usually only show the surface expression. These data allow us to image this fully in 3 dimensions and peel back layers of the sedimentary rock to look at the crater at all levels. And so they actually describe the impact of this, where it would send the water from its impact, how big of an impact, etc. And then obviously the wave will come back and,
Right, and I'm guessing the ocean depth and everything. Oh, which it says
800
like
meters
800
deep.
meters, which would impact, of course, the tsunami.
Yep. Sediment would have rushed in to fill the hole made by the impact, causing a brim to form. Some of the sediment would have been vaporized during impact, like I would mention. The tsunamis were measured to have impacted the seafloor upward of 20 kilometers away. From there, a massive earthquake would have caused damage below the seabed, up to and including the liquefaction of the underlying rock access the entire area near the crater, across the entire area near the crater, and the train of tsunamis would eventually reverse and come back as water filled the area once again, and it would actually do like waves back and forth. You can actually see that on YouTube. Do a search for wave
Like
pool.
tsunami model or something? Oh, wave
Yeah.
pool. Okay.
Yeah, or wave simulation. There are research locations where they actually use a thing to create a wave spike and stuff like that to show how waves interact in water. So I think this is all pretty amazing. And it says there's a very small chance that Bennu, which is this one that we've been talking about, could hit Earth sometime around the year 2300. The odds of that happening are just 1 in 1750.
That's pretty low chances, actually.
You mean it's a really good chance?
I'm sorry. Yes. I mean, like it's a low percent. Yeah, now I can't say it the right way, but yes, I think that's a higher probability than you would expect.
Yep, I agree. This is kind of freaky, but it's an interesting
Thanks for
location.
flipping that around because I knew what I meant, but I didn't say it right.
It's tough being sentient. Okay, let's keep going. This next article, though, is over in Non Sequitur News. Abandoned hospital with a haunted history now on the market for $100,000. Guess where ohmTown is moving?
I hope not. This sounds spooky.
To an abandoned hospital because it's proved to be in huge demand after it went on sale with a buyer snapping it up almost instantly, apparently. So I guess it's not on sale. What kind of article is this?
I don't think that's the haunted hospital. That looks too light and bright and modern.
Yeah, it's just millennials regret buying homes. Brian Dillon over at Newsweek.com put this article together. And oh God, this does look like it's haunted. So Katy Hospital was originally set up as a hospital for railroad workers back in the day. White, Cynthia D. White, real estate agent in charge of selling the property in Parsons, Kansas, which is going for $100,000. The land consists of the main hospital building constructed in 1916 and a separate house that used to house the hospital staff. It was also a mental hospital for a couple of years too. It hasn't really been used as a hospital since the 80s. More recently, the building proved a good fit for local event organizers, or an organizer who used it as a haunted house around Halloween. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. So they have clowns, evil clowns, all stuffed all over the place. Dear God, no. Anyway, the former hospital is a beloved local landmark with its own historical society. The Kansas Historical Society says the Katy Hospital was one of 40 major nationwide hospitals operated by nearly 20 railroad companies and was designed by architects Robertson and Griesenbeck in a colonial revival style. But yeah, they say people are just really intrigued with this thing, and there are many people out there who want to do something really good with it. According to Zillow, the average cost of a home in the state of Kansas is $230,000. You didn't see the first one. I'll scare you. Boom.
No, I don't like anything about this.
All right.
But I'm sure it has an appeal to the right buyer.
They don't say anything about it. They just say it's for sale for $100,000. Right? Oh, there they do. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's 4,500, just shy of 4,500 square feet of livable space on 6 acres. Having already secured a buyer, White revealed to Newsweek that the property will be transformed into apartments. So,
I think sometimes people try to avoid haunted properties, so it's interesting that this is appealing.
it may not actually be haunted. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like this.
Right, a haunted house doesn't mean that it's actually considered to be haunted by ghosts, right?
Well, I mean, I think what they're talking about in this isn't that it's haunted and that people believe it's haunted. It's that an event organizer.
Right, it was set up as a haunted house, yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of clickbaity, but anyway, let's move on. This next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Days left to claim cash in Oracle settlement that hundreds of millions qualify for.
The criteria for this are basically, did you live in the US?
The deadline is fast approaching for people to request a piece of the $115 million settlement, so you'll get $3. Settlement fund, Oracle agreed to pay out, settling its claims that it violated many people's privacy by selling their information to third parties. If this kind of shit doesn't motivate people to try and get the political establishment on board with the right to privacy, I don't know what is. You shouldn't have carte blanche to sell my personally identifiable information, PII.
Right. You shouldn't. And then also, we know the companies can't be trusted with it because there's constant breaches and other issues.
Yep. Alex Mardashoy over at thehill.com put the article together. It says, what's the lawsuit about? Well, Oracle is one of the largest tech companies in the US, but people may not be familiar with the company's software products. A lot of their work happens behind the scenes. Yes, abuse happens in the dark. So behind the scenes is
they
in
don't
the dark.
Like to tell the customers real clearly, like, hey, we're selling your data everywhere.
Right. Thank you very much. For example, banks may use Oracle software to manage databases of their customers and customer transactions. Hospitals may use it to store same thing, patient records. And retail businesses use it for inventory and sales and to manage their customers. So the lawsuit claims that through all of these databases and softwares, Oracle tracks the personal information of hundreds of millions of people, including their search history, purchases, location. Anyway, Oracle maintains that it hasn't done anything wrong because they investigated themselves. But they're going to agree to a $115 million payout sum, and you're included. And so you can't sue them individually because they're going to be basically shielded from any follow-on lawsuit where you say that they violated your privacy. Good luck. They'll point to the settlement and say, we are absolved of all sins we didn't even do. So you're eligible for a payment if you lived in the US for some period since 2018 and your personal data was acquired, captured, or otherwise collected by Oracle advertising technologies or made available for use or sale by or through ID Graph, Data Marketplace, or any other Oracle advertising product or service. So good luck verifying that. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. You have to just put your name and address and whatever. I was looking when this came up, I looked separately, and it looks like Oracle advertising is quite extensive and has a lot of connections to very well-known companies that a lot of consumers do business with. But whether your data was actually in that or not, who knows?
Yeah, so you literally have to put your name in a database to find out if you've been exploited by a database gathering solution.
Exactly.
Works for me. I don't need the $5. I need them to stop. That's what I need.
Right, like stop selling the data.
Yep, stop killing games.
Using basic passwords so that your whatever gets hacked. I don't mean Oracle, but just in general.
Yeah, stop selling my stuff. I am not your cash cow, but apparently I am. I don't even know it. Let's keep moving. So the next article from Wimbledon to VAR, is tech hurting the drama of sport? So a lot of technology is kind of insinuating itself into various sports. So in baseball, we're seeing exactly where the strike box is. In tennis, we're seeing pretty much
like if
everything.
It's actually over the line or not. Football
is the same thing.
Which down, etc.
Yep, where every player is, what down, where the first down line is. Where we used to trust in the chains, but the chains are sometimes off. And I actually created a miniature GPS system that you could insert into a football and track in real time at the field level where the football would be in triangulated, it was down to the inch kind of a thing. And people said, boo, hiss, I don't like it. And so that idea was shelved. But now I think time has come. And while moving the chains are great, verification that somebody crossed the first down line, that's important, right? So nobody wants to sit there and have to get into a, pissing for distance contest with an umpire or a ref that something took place. And then you have to go, well, let's go to the data, because you are a fallible human and you suck, and you had a bad night, so you're not seeing straight, and that ball was in, that kind of thing. So the article is over at BBC. Graham Fraser put the article together. And here is a line judge actually
doing a weird dance.
Actually taking a gander during the birth of their third child, going, yep, it's breach. Anyway.
I thought they were doing like a Fortnite dance or something to connect it to another article that was in ohmTown today.
Yeah, the other two are going, holy crap, is that how it works? Anyway, wait, wait, say that again. What did you say?
I said I thought they were doing a Fortnite dance or something to connect it to another article that appeared in ohmTown today.
Yeah, I don't think I chose that one. Yeah, I don't know.
It was a late breaking.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, you'll have to go over to ohmTown and check it out. So David Bayless is describing a scene he saw play out many times as a Wimbledon line judge, and one of the championships won't witness again. That's because Hawkeye is going to make the decision as to if something is in or out. So
you didn't comment on that photo?
That one there?
Yes. I'm not sure what to say, but it deserves a comment.
David Bayless is pictured behind Andy Murray during a match at the Wimbledon Championships in 2013. Andy Murray is seen here going, oh shit, the ball. So while it's sad to see line judges go, he said it's hard to argue with the logic. Basically, all of the line judges suck, right? Because they're human and they may or may not see well enough, and everybody is getting older, and I don't know. We're getting rid of humans all left and right. Pretty soon, Wimbledon is going to be two robots just interminably stuck hitting the ball back and forth because they're both equally capable of hitting the ball at the exact same level. No human at all. There's been 4 bets made on that game because nobody else is going to sit there for 15 years waiting for the results because they power down at the same time. They hit the... This is funny in my head. NaNoWriMo. Anyway, it was announced last year that the ATP Tour, which would replace the human line judge with an electronic system from 2025. US Open and Australian Open have also scrapped them. The French Open will be the only major tournament left with human line judges, at least until everybody goes, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about it.
Well, it's interesting. They had a quote from somebody who had served as line judge, and they recognized that, like, with the electronic, which overrules the human, why do you need the human?
Yep. Just move on. Just assume that it's Hawkeye now. So whether the tech works is one thing, but whether it's worth it is another. And for those who benefit from hitting it in, but it's perceived as out, then yeah, it's a benefit.
Right, like those close calls, right, are probably beneficial to have Hawkeye.
Yep. Dr. Anna Fitzpatrick and their cousin, Dr. Anna... No, Fitzpatrick. Patrick Fitz, never mind. So, who played at Wimbledon between 2007 and 2013, says her first feeling on hearing the news about Wimbledon line judges was of sadness. The human element of the sport is one of the things that draws us in. The lecturer in sports performance and analysis at Loughborough University tells the BBC. So, look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Technology particularly automation, always beats humans. Always. Eventually, it always beats humans, because any shortcoming can be systemically solved overnight by fixing the technology. But to fix 150 humans who get drunk on a Friday night is an impossibility. Right. You cannot walk up as an employer. You can't walk up to a human and go, "You're broken. We need to fix you."
Well, yeah, that's true.
So the video assistant referee system, with decisions taking too long and fans at the stadium not being aware of what's happening, it's frustrating people, but I think it's just going to get solved. The algorithm is going to get evolved, and this will be a non-issue. So, of course,
yeah, I mean, this is going to get more advanced as we go forward. Maybe it's been a little clunky at the beginning.
Yep. Right back from the very start of sports, it was a spectacle, but we also wanted it to be fair. That's what these technologies are about. That's the trick that we've got to get right. Technology is still adding to the spectacle of sport. Think of the 360-degree swirling photography used to illustrate the dramatic conclusion of the men's 100-meter final at this summer's Olympics.
Okay, does everybody reading this article appreciate exactly what that's about? I'm thinking no.
So you have cameras now that can pivot all the way around, and yeah.
Right, but how many people were watching that exact event?
Everybody, the whole world. So people love sport because of the drama, says Patrick Lucy, chief scientist of Stats Perform, the company behind Opta. Opta allows both athletes and fans to have streams of data to measure performance, a process which artificial intelligence is accelerating. But technology kind of makes everything stronger. Perhaps. I'm not quite so sure. Because, I mean, I don't want some cold, callous technology everywhere type of thing, where the players are basically falling victim to the technology and there's no connection, no humanity there. I have a problem with it, because what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a Hawkeye going, it's in or it's out or whatever. But what do? Well, I'm going to appeal that call. You can't.
To another computer? Oh, this sounds familiar.
Yep. Yeah. To the very computer that said that you lost. Yeah. No, my data says that you lost. Really? Well, your data is screwed up.
Right. Meanwhile, everybody in the stands or whatever knows that it was in or out.
Right. Yep. All right. Let's keep moving. Next article is, and it's the penultimate one. So it's over in Reality Hacker, which is another one of our shows. High-end fashion dupes are soaring where knockoffs never could. High-quality imitations of luxury products are rising, and people aren't ashamed to buy them anymore. How do designer brands retain their appeal? Well, everything, they rely on the whales to actually buy like a Birkin bag, that kind of a thing, a legit Birkin bag. And then they send agents to go and shut down the people who are doing knockoffs.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, people aspire to be in the same circle as somebody that's rich or famous.
Yep, like me and my Taylor Swift crystal, whatchamacallits? Freckles. Glitter freckles.
Glitter freckles. I tried to combine that in.
Griddle.
It doesn't combine very well.
Griddle fleckers are completely different, something else.
I think they use that at Waffle House.
I'd like an order of griddle freckers. Excuse me, what? Don't ask questions. Anyway, yeah, I love this. So Amy Francombe over at Wired.com put the article together. So I've seen people take bags and tear them apart and make something that uses the leather from some other bag, and they make it into their own. I can show you maybe. Call me maybe. Oh, it's right here. Hold on a second. Like, here, before I dox myself. Like, I made this, and I've taken the leather from some other bag, and I've laser cut it, and I've hand stitched it, and I have a really high quality felt inside there. This might be a product coming from my company. If the wrong person sees this, I might get a call from somebody saying that I'm creating a knockoff product, but that's not actually what's happening. I'm what is it called? Well, I'm recycling it, but upcycling, yeah. And I'm turning it into something that's useful from something that was about to get thrown away. So that's one thing. But what these are is they're saying, as someone who has a closet full of designer labels and who could certainly afford to buy the real thing, her admission surprised me. This is a person, a friend on a Bodega Jody bag. Is that it? Bottega Jody bag? I don't even know what that is. That would break my brain if I clicked that link. Anyway, she'd recently gotten a promotion at work and is now a senior manager at a respectable record label, making 6 figures. The bag was a celebratory gift, but it wasn't a legit bag. It was a dupe. It says it's real Italian leather. She followed up, and the website says they manufacture the same factories as some luxury brands. You couldn't tell the difference, so why would I spend thousands more for basically the same thing? Well, because one is fraudulent.
Well, is it labeled as it and marketed,
If somebody mistakes that bag as that, they didn't change it to Bodega Jody bag. It's still, I'd have to see the bag, right?
I think the person looked at the bag and said, oh, it's a Birkin or whatever.
Well, right. Okay.
But doesn't mean that it was labeled as a Birkin. But if it's a direct copy, etc.
The shame of buying these things is gone, says Alice Sherwood, author of Authenticity, Reclaiming Reality in a Counterfeit Culture. Wow, so this should be in Reality Hacker. Luxury prices have skyrocketed while the trend cycle has rapidly accelerated. People no longer want to spend upwards of £4,000 on the latest IT bag. Should be Pick Me bag, but all right. That might be out of vogue within a year. So, what was that one? Don't tap your last year's Prada shoes at me, honey. Last year?
Legally Blonde.
Yeah, Legally Blonde. Yeah, that's right. So, add their proliferation on social media into the mix, and the dupe culture has been normalized in ways that knockoffs from Canal Street never were, she says. So, yeah, I mean, they're calling them knockoff brands. LVMH, though, have gone after people. So, they're not the only ones. Leather goods manufacturer Sequitur Group Holdings regularly uploads videos on social media showcasing how the quality of its $100 handbags is almost identical to those sold upwards of $1,000, all while advertising that they use the same production lines used by Prada, Tumi, Michael Kors.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Of course, that doesn't mean they have the same designers and everything, but
see, and that's one
materials.
Of the things. Well, they say it is the same materials, the same quality even. But designers, come on, man, it's so insular. The other bags could be superior in design.
Oh, I agree. And I do think it is ridiculous what prices are paid for some of these items.
Yeah. So the article goes into greater detail about it, but essentially the knockoffs are getting sophisticated enough to actually trick people into accepting that whatever they are the legit thing. Assumptions aside, if they're not saying though that they are the name brand, I don't care.
I agree, and there probably is no protection on these designs. There could be.
Yeah, I mean, you can have design patents in place that aren't on functional parts, and then you can have functional patents on functional parts.
Right, but then, even then, like if you have a design patent, all you have to do is really change out the material or something, and then you can probably get away with it.
Yep. But hey, go after LVMH or get sued by LVMH and see how happy you are. Because that slap suit would really slap you right out of existence. It's going to be expensive no matter what. And defending yourself from a slap or just some, what do you call it? It's not necessarily a slap suit, but just a nuisance lawsuit to shut you
like
down.
a frivolous suit.
Yeah. You don't get your money back. You have to sue to get your money back. So good luck with that. The only winners.
And then you might have to sue to get it collected too.
Yeah. And the only winners in a lawsuit are the attorneys. All right. Our last article for today's non sequitur news is in Reality Hacker. Meta and ETH Zurich researchers say that they've solved turning any surface into a keyboard. Text input in VR, AR today is cumbersome and significantly slower than on PCs and smartphones. Floating virtual keyboards require awkwardly holding your hands up and slowly pressing one key at a time like a derp, providing no haptic feedback, preventing you from resting your wrist. Quest headsets supporting pairing a Bluetooth keyboard for full speed typing, but that means they have to carry around a separate device larger than the headset itself. So what are the researchers doing? This is over at uploadvr.com. David Haney. David Henny. I'm going to go with David Henny. David Heaney. Thank you, sentient AI from the future. You might be detecting that I'm probably going to get slapped by somebody for ruining a name there, but at any rate, so if headsets could turn any flat surface into a virtual keyboard, it would bring partial haptic feedback and allow you to rest your hands without the need to carry around a physical keyboard. So technically, they say developers can technically already build surface-locked virtual keyboards on Quest today by using hand tracking and getting the user to tap the surface to calibrate its position. Done and done. I love the idea of this. But I want augmented reality, not VR. Just give me augmented and have the virtual keyboard, because then at least I can look down at my keyboard. But you don't have any virtual anything. You don't have the ability to set your hands on home row, know that they're there, and type. I can type 120 words a minute for crying out loud, or I used to. I don't know. It's been a while since I did any speed typing, but oh, look, it even says, oh my God.
That is really weird.
What the heck? Did my brain just, because I used to type that fast,
I don't think so. Because you've said that before.
Wow. So Meta showed off research towards solving the idea last year with its CTO Andrew Bosworth saying he achieved almost 120 words a minute. But last year's solution seemed to require a series of... Really? Is that the right word? Fiducial? Hold on.
I'm not sure. I didn't know that was an IT term.
I'm sorry, folks. I would normally just... assumed as a fixed basis of comparison, especially of a point or line. Fiducial. Huh.
Interesting.
Okay. It actually has it's got a few other... It's taken as a standard of reference. That's what that means. That's a hell of a word. I guess business school has broken my head. So when I see that, I go, fiduciary?
That's what it looks like. I wasn't familiar with this meaning.
So fiducial markers on the table, which may have been acting as a robust dynamic calibration system. Plus, Meta didn't reveal the error rate of that system. So in essence, you can tap on a table, it will detect that location and project a screen onto it. So with Insight paper, the 6 researchers say that the new solution only achieves a maximum of just over 70 words per minute and an average of 37 words per minute, which is way slow. The average person types around 40, whereas professional typists reach between 70 and 120 words. But I think you can go faster than 120 words. Anyway, pretty cool. I love the idea of this, but again, I want augmented reality and this. I want to be able to just see the keyboard in front of me and be able to type, but
Right. Well, maybe this is around the corner then with this technology, right?
Yep. It'll come in time, but we need to get the whole augmented reality glasses down in size. The ones that are coming out of Meta right now look like they're made out of Play-Doh and more for like a child than I think everyday use. They're big and bulky and kind of, it needs to have that little clown nose in front, you know? What are the
Why?
Groucho Marx glasses? Those, yeah. Why?
Well, I mean, at least then they couldn't tell who was behind them, since they're embarrassing to be wearing them.
I think that they're silly, but that's just me. And I love the tech. I want augmented reality glasses like nobody's business. I have thrice now tried to buy AR glasses only to kind of walk back and go, no, it's not ready for prime time, because the technology evolves, but I think they're trying to push it the wrong way. Big, bulky, ugly glasses. Nope. Anyway, that's it. We're done for today. Sound good?
Sounds good, but we need to
reboot our AR glasses and end up back at the front page of ohmtown.com for non sequitur news, by the way. We actually have 3 more shows after this one. Each one of those is a 30-minute show. They are weekly. So be sure to follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube, and go over to Patreon, follow us there. There's a free tier there. Download the podcasts. There's 7 individual podcasts, one of which is daily. The 6 others are weekly, like the 3 that we're going to do after this one. That dead silence is Mayor Watt. Kind of confused as to what I want to do now. So we're just going to end the show. Reboot. See you in a little bit. I'm Mayor Watt.
bye-bye.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I think I need some caffeine. See ya, everybody.